Yeah, hi. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon. I don't know what time anyone's watching this video, but you've clicked on the video, so you know what the topic is. I should really, cut my hair or something. My father-in-law cuts my hair, and there just hasn't been the right time. He's got to be in the right mood to cut it. But anyway, I just wanted to make a video today, and I've been thinking about this topic for a long time. I haven't really talked about it in any of my other videos. I do have something to say about it, and let's just get right into it. So let's first off deal with racism. So why did I think about making this video? I guess racism is one of those big topics. Like everyone has thought about it at some point in their life. Black Lives Matter and all of those recent events in America and other countries where they've attacked statues and all that kind of stuff. I guess it's brought it more into people's minds more than ever. And very recently, I saw a non-native speaker in a Facebook group sort of saying oh, it's racism and all this kind of stuff. So I just thought I'd talk about it. Now, in my experience, I guess the racism that I have personally experienced in ESL in Korea and in China, Korea for 1 year and China for nearly 10 years nearly 10 years, I think. It's been very subtle, it's never been explicit. I've certainly heard people make jokes about different races and stuff, I've heard that kind of stuff, but it's always been behind people's backs, and that kind of racism, it's not great, but it's a bit cowardly as well, because you'd sort of be assuming that everyone's making jokes about everybody else. But I haven't seen a lot of explicit racism towards people from other races. I guess one of the main victims of racism in China ESL is probably Chinese people themselves, because Chinese people would prefer for their kids to learn, or for for themselves to learn from at least someone who looks like they're not Chinese. So I think a lot of Chinese people would even prefer a black teacher or an Indian teacher or whatever to a Chinese teacher who says that he's American, who maybe has an American passport. So that's always a funny one. Yeah, but I haven't seen I think the issue with hiring practices, there are issues about that. I'd be flying in the face of reality to deny that there weren't some racist tones to hiring in China. But I think a large part of it comes from a marketing perspective, because if they have someone with blonde hair and blue eyes, or even someone like me, they can just more easily persuade the parents, or they can more easily persuade the general public of an international school, oh, this guy is really a native speaker. And being a native speaker, it is important to Chinese people, because they don't like to think of themselves as getting a bad deal, and they think of a native speaker as the best deal that they can get in terms of getting an English teacher. We're just talking about English teachers. I'm not talking about maths teachers or biology teachers. But on the other hand, I think that the Chinese are very open towards people who are people they know, number one, but also people who are good at what they do, or show enthusiasm, or who are reliable. I think reliability is a big quality that the Chinese look for. So I used to work at this. This is a great example. I could give a few examples, but I'll just give one. And this is I still know a guy who works there. I'm not going to mention him. I haven't mentioned my videos to him. I don't think he watches them. He wouldn't watch them even if he knew about them. But anyway, this guy has been working at this university for a long time, and he would know exactly who I'm talking about. So this university, I shouldn't name it because, it's a small world. I don't want to do that. But anyway, it's a big university, and it has a partnership with a university in America. and I worked there for maybe 18 months, like about 7 years ago, or yeah, 8 years ago maybe. And there's a Jamaican English teacher there. Okay, so this guy's a black Jamaican guy, and he's a smart guy. And through his charisma and I guess his reliability, the Chinese trust him so much. Him and his family just basically have taken over the university. His daughter was living there, was working there when I was there. So yeah, even though you can always, like, it doesn't matter what's happening, you can always point to the exception or whatever, but that's a real story that I'm aware of. That's a real story that I'm aware of. Now, does it help to be white, or does it help to have blonde hair and blue eyes ideally in ESL in China? Yeah, probably, for sure, you know, but someone like me who has whatever color eyes I have and dark hair, I'm still obviously white, so I'm still kind of obviously like taking advantage of, or there is some sort of whiteness that I'm able to access, if that makes sense. But once you're reliable, it's sort of like, yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm 6 minutes into the video now, so I want to talk about homosexuality, gay people in ESL as well. So yeah, again, like you'll always hear a few jokes about this, and I've worked for a couple of gay people. I'll tell you a story from Korea first, and this was about a guy or a girl, I don't know what the right thing to say is, I guess a woman, who used to be a man, and he or she, like, I sound probably like, I'm a bit confused about it, I'm just like a lot of people, you know, I don't know what the right pronoun is. But this person was in the midst of having gender reassignment surgery, and she was part of the way there. And yeah, like, look, I mean, I didn't become friends with her or anything like that. I met her at a teacher's camp. Like, we had to go to a special like hotel resort for a couple of weeks. Myself and all of the other teachers in our province. If you've taught in Korea, you know what these things are like. They sort of start out like a bit boring and a bit scary, and then somebody finds a place to buy soju, and you know, it sort of gets more fun from there. But you know, yeah, this person, like, I don't think I ever really chatted to them or anything like that, but no one was laughing at them, like no one was sniggering at them. And as far as I know, that teacher continued teaching in Korea and completed the journey. I think that the last I heard, she'd finished her journey in Thailand, and finished the journey as in finished all of her goals that she had in terms of gender reassignment. So yeah, I'll start off with that. But look, I've worked for a couple of gay managers. I mean, Wall Street English had a lot of gay managers. I mean, look, I'm not being silly. I'm not saying Wall Street was a gay company, but they certainly had like a few gay managers. And again, like there was no sniggering about it. I had a pretty good experience with all of the gay managers that I had. And when it comes to homophobia and stuff like that, look, I mean, people talk about China as a homophobic society and as a racist society. I just haven't experienced that. I just haven't experienced it. I'm sure that people have. And again, like, because I'm white and because I'm heterosexual, I might not have been, like, I'm not the best person to ask about these things. But in terms of, like, sniggering and making jokes and stuff, yeah, I've heard a couple of jokes. I've heard a bit of sniggering. But I've never heard somebody directly say, oh, I don't like people like that, or I don't like people from this country or people from that country. I just haven't heard that in China. And if you have, leave a comment below. And yeah, let's talk about it, because yeah, it's a bit of fun. And on WeChat, you know, you do hear these news stories of people doing this or people doing that, and then making comments and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know how you feel and what you've experienced. But yeah, I feel like there's a bit of a reputation there, and it might not be as deserved as it might not be a deserved one, is what I'm saying. And yeah, that's my story to tell.